Think you need a massive audience to have a successful launch? Think again. In the kickoff episode of the brand new Launch Lessons podcast, I am giving you the real unfiltered truth about launching and why your audience size isn't the make or break factor you have been told that it is. So inside this episode, I am giving you a sneak peek into a brand new podcast that my friend Whitney Abraham and I are launching. And inside we are covering how the podcast was born and why we decided to do a private podcast, the real reasons why most launches flop and how to avoid them, our most cringe-worthy launch mistakes. Yes, we've been there too. The outdated launch advice that drives us nuts and what to do instead. And so we're also going to give you like a little behind the scenes of what to expect from this brand new podcast. So whether this is your first course or you're ready to scale your next offer, this episode is packed with mindset shifts, behind the scenes strategy, and proven systems that don't require a giant following or an ad budget. So I can't wait for you to binge the rest of this episode. And if you want to check out our brand new private podcast, you can head on over to hollymarieHaynes.com/launch lessons. Can't wait for you to listen. Welcome back to the Crush the Rush podcast. This is such a special episode because I'm bringing back my friend Whitney Abraham because we have a really special project that actually launches today. And so in true Crush the Rush fashion, we decided let's just walk you through what we did, how we did it, and hopefully get you excited about some really cool resources that we have coming out. So
one of my favorite things about collaborating with you is that they're always going to get a behind the scenes look. And this is like so spot on, absolutely the way that Holly does things. So yeah, of course we're going to launch a podcast episode talking about the guts of launching something while we're launching it.
Whitney has been on the podcast before. We've done a lot of collaborations, but let's talk about how we first met.
Okay. So I don't even actually remember when we first met. I remember inviting you to dinner. Where did we meet before dinner?
I don't think we met in person before dinner.
I invited you as a stranger to a dinner.
I showed up in your DMs. You were part of my antisocial, I need to meet somebody local strategy.
I'm sorry, Mom. Okay. But when you talk to somebody, and to be fair, I have met so many of my friends from the internet, so I can't even say that I'm surprised by this. But when you speak with someone and they just get it and you're just kind of like, oh my gosh, like she understands what I'm going through, what it's like to build a business like this. And I know how lonely it is to build business, especially an online business. So yeah, I probably did just invite you as a stranger to dinner because why wouldn't I do that? That's right. Safe and normal.
And then I show up to dinner and, it's like, get to know you. I think some of our paths had crossed like with other friends and they're like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, well, actually I quit my job today.
Like literally she was celebrating her entree into full-time entrepreneurship with us. I think it's one of those things where you probably don't realize how special that is when it's happening. But then I think looking back, you recognize, oh, that was a really big moment in my life. And actually, how cool was it that I got to do it with people who get it too?
Yeah. I feel like it was like the universe, like bringing in like the right people at the right time. So I feel like we had to tell that story. But let's talk about our new project. Do you want to announce it?
Okay, you guys, for years, Holly and I have been friends. We have been doing what feels like very tandem work, right? So a lot of the experiences that I'm having behind the scenes with my clients, she's mirroring that too. And what's really cool is we go about this work in very different ways, but ultimately we're helping people solve the same problems, right? And so we often would have conversations about what strategies were working for us and how our clients were doing and what was going on. And we always knew in the back of our mind that there was a way for us to combine the strategies that we use into a launch playbook that really help people move the needle forward in their business on their own terms. And for years, we have been punting around this idea. What would it look like? What do we think they need, right? And so we're finally here today to share with you that this whole entire process is finally built. And we are so excited about opening the doors to hopefully something that really solves a lot of problems for women who are building businesses, whether it's, you're using social to do it or you're trying to take the antisocial route. Like we really fundamentally believe in the work that we've put together.
Yeah. So the first step in our announcement is we have a brand new podcast called Launch Lessons. the shit you should have known before you built it, which to me is what every entrepreneur says. Like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known that before I took the 170 steps, or I wish somebody would have told me that before I did this. And so we have worked together on a lot of launches. We have worked on our own on a lot of launches. We've taken tons of clients, both corporate, brick and mortar, product, service, you name it, through tons of launches. And so we are literally putting together the playbook I think that you all have asked for. We've had similar clients who we've both helped that have said, can you please just write this down? Can I please just be in your brain and you tell me how to do this? And so this is exactly what we put together.
Yeah. And with Launch Lessons, this private podcast that we've like poured our guts into, this is the no holds barred conversation. Like, we are not holding anything back, because quite frankly, it's the holding things back that is the part that you want to hear. It's the thing that she didn't say because she was trying to whitewash it and make it look like it was all positive and daisies, that we really need you to hear, so that you go into your launches prepared, so that you know what you're facing, so that you don't question whether or not you're meant for this thing simply because it didn't go the way you wanted it to on your launch.
Yeah. So if you want to skip to the good part, just go to hollymariehaynes.com/launch lessons. And you'll get to hear all the behind the scenes. But I think the cool part about this is right now you're getting a sneak peek of exactly what the podcast is. It is back-to-back conversations. Whitney and I do a lot of the same things, but we do them very differently, but similarly. So I focus a lot on the back end, on the strategy, on the funnels, on the technology, on the, hey, let's save time and do this differently. And she's very much focused on the front end, the marketing, the words. And so I mean, the word magic comes to mind when I think about when we sit in a room and it all comes together, because it's just all the pieces in this like magical way.
And I think often entrepreneurs will find themselves having a skill set of either one or the other and not both. That's really common. And how magical is it to have two people who are really strong in both of those areas, leading the forefront for how you build your launches and how they sound and what you do, and really pulling it off to the caliber that your business deserves. Because quite frankly, I think a lot of business owners have these dreams of these launches that go really well, of these brands that are so iconic and recognizable, but they just can't seem to figure out how to pull it off. And that's exactly what we're hoping to help people do.
Yeah. And I think if you're into launching, we want you to watch, because this is our pre-launch strategy, and you can watch every piece and part of how we're doing it and what we're doing and what we're saying and how we're including you and how we're doing behind the scenes. It's like all the things that we both teach, and you can literally watch it come to life, and then you can go listen to the podcast and learn the steps that are going to work for you.
And you know, when you get to peek behind the curtain and start to piece those pieces together, it will make so much sense to you.
Yeah.
All the levers that need to be pulled. It's so fun.
Yeah. So let's go behind the curtain a little bit more and just talk about, I think launching is very different now than it was, let's say, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I also think that like whole bro marketing technique is done. Thank God. Right?
Bye.
So let's talk about launches and how you feel about launching. What is something that, or maybe some mistakes that you've learned along the way, and how you want to do launching differently?
1,000 mistakes. And I echo what you're saying. If you started your business 5 years ago launching, what you did then is absolutely not working now. And I think that's part of the frustration, because people really want a playbook that they can follow. That will be forever and ever, amen, the thing that they can do. And I get that, but there's so much nuance to it, right? And that's a lot of what we focus on. But I have made countless mistakes in launching offers inside of my business, from building offers without really making sure that my audience wanted them, from like popping an offer up last minute and barely putting, any effort into getting it off the ground and expecting it to go better than it did. Like, oh, I'll just whisper it on the internet and then 20 people will buy it. Like, there's so many times that I have royally screwed up, right? And even someone who knows the steps and knows what to do, even as close people who are like really close to our business, we make mistakes too. We don't ever want you to think that we don't, but we have noticed that there are some trends that are happening in the launch category right now that we feel are really exciting, because it is such a departure from that bro marketing feel of just like, do these 99 steps in a row and don't even show up if you're not willing to spend $100,000 on ads.
Yeah. And I think for me, the experience was, how you launch in corporate is a little bit different than how you would launch online. some of the things you can totally carry forward. But I would open these books and be like, okay, well, I'm going to teach myself how to launch, but it just didn't feel right. And it felt like, well, would I actually say these things? Are these words that would actually come out of my mouth? Or are these steps that I would actually take? And so our whole approach to launching is really this model that works for you, for your schedule, for who you are as a person. I don't know how many times in the podcast we're like, be a real human. That's what people want. And so I'm excited for you guys to follow along and really learn from some of the lessons that we've learned from.
Yeah. I mean, I think permission to hear that if you are being taught a launch strategy and your first thought is ooh, then I think you should listen to that ooh. And that I think is hard because we look at these people who are so super successful and we think, well, gosh, if I want to be successful, then I have to do what they do. And we're here to tell you that you get to do it in a way that feels right to you. And there is a way. You probably just need a little help figuring out what that way is.
Yeah. So if we're digging in a little bit more, what is some launch advice that you've heard that gives you the ick?
Yeah, I think ads are getting a resurgence too.
Yeah,
which
I've
is
seen that as well.
It's current, and it makes me kind of want to barf because just the idea of literally spending money in order to get in front of the right eyeballs in the hopes that it converts. And then when it does convert, it's eating into your profit margin because you had to pay $16 to get that person. It really makes me want to vomit because I think there are so many things that you can do behind the scenes to really deepen your relationships with people to avoid having to do that. Right. And, maybe is it a little extra work right now? Yeah. It is a little more work than it was in 2020 when you could literally get on the internet and be like, yay, I did a thing. And people were like, ooh, give me that. I want it. Right. It's different today, but ads are really one that I'm like, I have yet to see a single client that has leveraged Facebook ads and thought, wow, this is the thing that I really want to be doing.
Right.
Like not a single one of them.
There's
I know
a
you
lot
have your
of
own
stress, right?
You have your own ads horror stories for sure.
I do have a lot of ads horror stories. The other thing that I think that I have learned is I feel like, maybe in 2020 or 2021, you could give information and that was enough for people to purchase, right? Like you could give information. Then I feel like we shifted to, okay, well, I'm going to give you information, but I'm also going to give you a swipe file or like steal this copy or not steal it, but use this copy kind of thing. And then we sort of moved into, well, I'm just going to do it for you kind of thing. And now we're layering in AI and all the things together. And so I think people are expecting all of those things, but they're also expecting the relationship piece and the one-on-one piece. And so when you think about what you're offering and how you're launching, I think the most important trend that we're seeing is we have to include all of that and do it in a way where we're also protecting our time, which is hopefully what you're going to get from launch lessons, because we're literally teaching you like which launch is going to make the most sense for you and where you're at.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're hearing all of those steps and feeling like, gosh, I'm so out of my depth when it comes to offering all of those components, I just want you to know that like it's built one little step over time, and that here we sit decades into running our own businesses, and it's okay to start small. It's okay to literally just be like, here's an AI prompt as the starting place. Okay. So I want you to know that it's okay. No matter where you are, you still absolutely can be successful today, no matter how green you feel in this marketplace. And there's a spot for you. There's a spot for you at the table. And all you really need is some support and some coaching to make sure that you're moving in the direction that best shows your skills and your talents.
Yeah. And I think the other thing about launch lessons is we want to make launching fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like I did not leave my corporate job to sit behind a computer and write 17 funnels. That's not what we're here for. And so we want to make it fun. And we're going to take you behind the scenes of how we created this podcast and how we made it fun. So what would be our first step that we took?
Yeah. I mean, I think the first step is gut check yourself, right? So you all know the feeling of launching something that you're not on fire for. And if you're already getting the feelings of like, ugh, then that's a sign to me that we got to go back to the playbook and double down on our belief and really arm ourselves with the proof that this work is good work, because your energy and enthusiasm is required for your success when it comes to selling things online. And when it comes to like being fun, I get the reason why launching gets a bad rap, because it is a lot of work. So it's sometimes hard to classify it as fun, but I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
I think there is room to have fun, and people feel that fun when you're actually loving what you're doing, and that becomes the kerosene on your launch that makes it so successful.
Yeah. And I hope if you're following this launch
can
and
tell.
this podcast, you could feel the fun and you can feel the excitement. We're obviously filming this a little bit ahead of time, but we started working on this in October. So how many months is that? 6 months ago? I don't even know. I can't do math on the fly. But a long freaking time. And our excitement level, I think, has been the same.
Yeah.
Every single time we meet. Like, Whitney's literally holding me back. I'm like, let's just share it now. She's like, no, we gotta wait. We gotta wait till the right time, till it's all together. And so I think having that enthusiasm is something that we have learned along the way, that like that has to be there. And that's not something you can teach. It's something that you have to really have deep within to be excited about and to be confident about what you're putting out there.
And I also want to encourage you, if you're in a place right now where you're not excited or it's not fun for you, it will get fun again. There have been times in my business where I have been like, well, this is it. Like it's all, I'm dead inside. Nothing is fun. I don't enjoy any of it anymore. And I wondered, like, would I ever get my zest or my enthusiasm back for the work that I'm doing? And I'm just here to tell you, another idea is around the corner if that's how you feel, or there are so many things you can do to go back and re-examine what it is that you built to reignite that enthusiasm for what you already have, and take heart, because there is always another idea, another opportunity around the corner that you'll catch fire for. And when you catch fire, literally no one can look away.
Yeah. So we want you to have fun, but we also want you to have the steps and the roadmap. We mentioned that we started this in October. There are very specific steps that we followed. Everything from brainstorming at the beginning to deciding what type of launch we want, to deciding how we're going to promote it and what the marketing is going to look like. And inside Launch Lessons, we are literally handing you the toolkit, like giving it to you and showing you exactly how to do it.
Can we talk about Lucy?
Yes, let's talk about Lucy.
You guys, I will be the first to admit. That
This is Holly's idea, and Whitney being like, I don't know.
Okay, I just am a curmudgeon. I've been a curmudgeon about AI because I've seen so many people use it in the wrong way. I think people are finally starting to recognize that you have to train AI in order for it to yield the result that you want. But I will be honest in telling you that I had no idea the capabilities of what AI could do for you in your business. And my biggest hurdle was always like, well, it's not me. It's never going to be me. Actually, I think there is a way to train AI to be me, and Launch Lucy's it.
Yeah. So Launch Lucy, you'll hear about inside Launch Lessons, and Launch Lucy is, I think, basically like the merging of both of our brains. And it's a little AI assistant, little but very powerful, that's going to help you decide what type of launch is going to work best for you. And she's so fun. She's got a very quirky personality.
She good too.
She's so good, which again is bringing back the fun factor of let's launch something really cool and really powerful and something we're really passionate about, but let's also add in the lessons that we've learned along the way. We need all these tools to have a successful program and to make sure that you're successful too.
And we literally trained Lucy to move you through the questions that we would ask you if we were sitting in front of you and coaching you, to help determine what the game plan should be for your particular launch based on your business model, your lifestyle, your energy levels, how much your offer costs, what their proximity is, all of these things. It is wicked smart.
Wicked smart. I love it. Okay, last question. What is one thing to those that are listening that you want them to take away about our new podcast?
You're not alone. If you've been sitting behind the scenes in silence, frustrated at your growth, frustrated that maybe your launches haven't gone the way you wanted them to go, frustrated that there's so much that you just don't know that you wish you knew beforehand, I want you to know that you're not alone. We see you. We have literally walked that path. There are still so many times where we look at each other and we think, oh my gosh, what's going on right now? You are not alone. You are not the only person that's feeling this, that's been feeling this way, but you don't have to stay stuck. And we hope that Launch Lessons will be the thing that helps move you through the process of gaining momentum again.
Yeah. And I think my other goal is that you feel inspired, that you feel inspired in maybe a time that is a little different. I don't know what's happening in 2025, but we'll see. That you know that one, you have support, you have a roadmap, you can see other women who are doing it in a way that hopefully you're excited about, and know that you have a place where you can come ask questions. So we would love for you to download Launch Lessons, our brand new private podcast, It's at hollymariehaynes.com/launch lessons. We are behind the scenes. Shoot us an email, ask us questions. You can check out our emails and our social because we got both brains working on this, and hopefully experience a really fun and efficient and profitable way to launch.
See you on the other side.